Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Ben Cato. I play drums for The Dangerous Summer, and you're watching DrumChats TV.
All right, Ben Cato on DrumChats TV. What's going on, dude?
Yo, what's good, man? Happy to be here, man.
Cool,
Hell
man.
yeah.
It's good. It's good to see your face. We tried to do the interview, like 2 or 3 months ago, maybe,
Yeah.
and had some issues, and then y'all went on tour.
Yeah,
With
man.
our last night. How was all that, man?
That was sick, man. Like I loved watching Tim smash every night, dude. He's got really good stick control, dude. That guy was on it every night. And those champs dudes were sweethearts. Like shout out to state champs. Those are the boys. And the homies in Grayscale, man. Like we hung with them every day. Like they were the fucking best, dude. Like such good dudes. Like that band's about to fucking blow up. Like they're really, really doing good. Like really, really good dudes, man. That kid, their drummer Nick, like played some drums I never heard of, like cog drums or something, but they sounded so sick. I was like, "What is this? I've never heard of this." Like, he's
Huh.
like, "Oh yeah, man. Like, I just started playing these drums, and dude, they sounded amazing." And he had nothing but Coated Ambassadors on them. I was like, "I see you over there, man. I see you." Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
dude.
you didn't you just get a new kit with SJC?
Yeah, I did. I did actually. So SJC gave me their new Heirloom series prototype. So like
Ooh.
they're not going to start manufacturing these until this fall. And I was like, yo, like I really want to cop one of those Heirloom series because I've always been like curious about mahogany. And like they discontinued the other one and they're like, well, do you want the like prototype of the new one? Like I was like, yeah, yeah, I want that. And it's really sick because it has those 30-degree rounded over bearing edges.
Oh,
And
nice.
man, you can tune them so low. It's so epic. And I'm telling you, dude, like I'll probably never play another maple kit ever again. Like I'm all about the warmth and the punchiness of that mahogany. Like it's so sick. And 14 by 24 kick as well. Like I went with a
Shallow.
shallower
Yeah.
kick setup, man, and wow, dude, like the rebound on it is crazy. Like and Zach from SJC was telling me a lot of these metal guys are going to 14 by 24s because of the rebound, but man, like it moves so much air, like it's so epic. Like I hated to have to leave it in Nashville. I was like, oh, I want to take it home,
Oh, it's
like
here.
yeah, yeah, it's at Matt's. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's gonna be like my main like TDS rig for a while. I can't say enough about the kit, dude. Like it's unbelievable, dude. And I've been a Maple guy like my whole life, but now it's like nope, that like Maple's out, dude. Like all mahogany, like all the way. Like
Let's talk more specs then. What toms do you use for that?
all right, cool. Yeah, I actually screen grabbed this so because
Of
I
course you
knew
did.
that I knew this was gonna come up, and I was like, I'm not gonna remember this. So 7.5 by 13, and then
Ooh.
14 by 16.
7.5 by 13?
Hmm.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's a
they
cool
do
depth
these
for a
weird.
13.
Yeah, they do these weird sizes for 13s, and like I said, like it was one of those things where I didn't know like the a lot of the specifics. I was just like, oh, you got the prototype, like I want that, and I just kind of like dove in, like not really knowing what like all the ins and outs. I was just like, ooh, I want it, and it wound up like being so perfect, dude. Like you throw some controlled sound clears on those bad boys,
Hmm.
I'm telling you, like 2/4 turns over finger tight, and like they sound like butter, dude. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like,
What about snare? Did I see you playing a DW snare?
so I brought three different ones out on this last tour, and some nights, yeah, I did. That was my B snare. Is 6.5 by 14 nickel over brass.
Nice.
Um, love that drum. And I just copped a 6.5 by 14 copper phonic. I played that a lot. That was my A snare. Love that drum. I did notice it's a little harder to choke an overtone on that bad boy. I don't know what it is with the copper, and
Huh.
I never I've never been an Evans guy, but like I'll always bust out the HD dry if you just like can't get that overtone dialed, you know.
Okay.
So yeah, I threw an Evans HD dry on that sucker, and then it sounded amazing. And then I also had a I think it's a 5.5 by 14 hand hammered bronze Ludwig that was my C
Oh.
snare, but I wound up not using it that much on that tour just because these rooms were so big.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, those were the three that I brought out on that last run, and it's so hard. Like I'm so spoiled, you know what I mean? Traveling with all these snares, I'm like, ooh, which one do I want to use today? You know, but like,
Yeah.
I I like being able to be like, all right, well, what's this room like? You know, what's the vibe? You know, and the really big ones, the Copperphonic went over like really really well.
Cool.
Um, yeah, dude.
And then cymbals, you're a Zildjian guy,
Oh
right?
yeah, all
Okay.
the way. I've definitely got one or two little Sabians peppered in my setup. I'm really stoked because I was able to film a full rig rundown on this tour, and that's going to drop in a couple days. So I'm like really stoked about that. 'Cause
Awesome.
I've been waiting a long time to do that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, I'm an all rides kind of guy. So right now with my setup, I've got a let me see, yeah, a 21-inch K suite on my left.
Oh.
Uh, 22-inch Avidus on my right. My main ride is a 23-inch Ping ride. Love that ride. The bell on that is just sonically like so perfect. And then got an 8-inch Sabian Air Splash, 10-inch A Custom Splash, Sabian Chopper, and I did a 14-inch Master Sound on the bottom and a regular K
Ooh.
on the top for my hi-hats. I brought out some 14-inch darks too on this tour, but I didn't like them as much. Like you had to go really close to the bell of the hats to get rebound, to do like little diddles and
Oh.
5 strokes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that. They sounded amazing, but you know, with the regular Ks, like I can be all over uh, the surface area of the cymbal, and it's going to bounce right back. And
Right.
so I used them one night, and I was like this is taking too much getting used to, you know. So I went back to the regular K with a master sound on the bottom.
Okay. That's good to know. You said that was a dark K dark symbol?
Yeah, the K darks. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Have you tried any of the new dry series, the new K like
I
special
haven't.
dries or anything?
I haven't. I've been
Okay.
looking at those, and I've been looking at the 15-inch K suites. Like, so sick.
What sizes are you using right now for your
14s.
hats? 14s. Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
Have you tried anything bigger, or do you have anything bigger than 14?
I haven't. I've been seeing some guys getting really willy nilly, like using 18s and stuff, and I'm like, damn, like I kind of want to try that. Like, it's so
Yeah,
epic.
yeah, and I need to send you a video I just did. I play 16-inch K lights,
Oh,
and
do
that's
you?
my favorite. Like,
Yeah, you really like them.
yeah,
Yeah.
I have a pair of 14-inch new beats, and I love
Yeah.
those because they're
Yeah, those have that classic Zildjian sound. Yeah.
yeah, and you can really articulate with them. But
Hmm.
the 16s is, to me, it's just even a 15, but it's just like the
Sure.
perfect blend of still being able to articulate wherever I want, and then I
Right.
can also just smash on it if I wanted to as
Nice.
well.
Yeah.
And I think that I think the problem with like an 18-inch hi-hat is you're really just going for the clashing, and you
Right.
can't
Right.
really get a lot of stick definition. Um,
Oh, I'm so happy you told me that
because of
because
how
I would have
I
I would
think
have splurged on those and been like, oh shit, like
well, I mean, I could be wrong, but just because of how
yeah, yeah,
big they are, I think
right,
that
right,
the more surface area, the
yeah,
less rebound you're gonna get.
yeah. I
Um,
believe that.
but
Yeah,
dude, try it. Like I did that with
yeah.
me and Garrett Goodwin were hanging out a while
Hmm.
back, and we tried two different crashes and just put them together, and it sounded
Oh, I love
great,
that.
but it was
Yeah,
definitely it just absorbed all the stick
right.
definition in it. But
Yeah, like
um,
playing on a pillow or
yeah,
something. Yeah.
exactly. Um, Are you using die-cast hoops on your kit on the
I'm
toms?
not.
Okay.
I actually, this was years ago, but I was chilling. So like Cyrus and those NFG dudes came through
Oh yeah.
Atlanta, and Mike from SJC was with him, so I came out to like hang out, and I remember, I don't know how it came up in conversations, but Cyrus was like, don't you play diecast hoops all the time, man? It'll destroy your wrists. I almost had to have
I
surgery and
believe
all this
that.
stuff. Like, so like I'll still use them in the studio. Like, it was really sick because there was like a really old SJC bell brass that I used on a song on the new TDS record. Um, but definitely like I won't play diecast every day just because it'll. Ever since he
Mm,
told me that, I was like, oh my god, like if I have to have surgery on my wrist, like that just can't happen. Like, no way. Like,
yeah. You're never the same after surgery, it seems
yeah,
like.
exactly. So
Is he saying that from like from hitting rim shots on his toms? Like,
absolutely,
okay,
absolutely, yeah.
right on. So you're just using triple flange, I'm guessing?
Yep.
Okay. How many kits do you have with SJC?
This the heirloom prototype is technically my third. I
Right.
still have the golden record kit over here in my cave in Atlanta. And that one just is really special to me because that was my first like you spend weeks like meticulously going back and forth with ideas with the homies, and then find like this is it.
Yep.
But then like the heirloom is just like a whole nother level, man. Like, oh, like I like I want to call him right now and be like, "Damn it, dude, like I need another one. Like I need one here. Like it's just that good. Like, oh, it sucks. Like I know I imagine on this podcast it's totally okay to be like I'm having separation anxiety from a set of drums. Like, people will understand what I mean by that. I may not be able to say that in casual conversation, be like, you're fucking weird, dude. Like, what is going on? Like,
No,
but honestly, like, these drums are that good. Like,
I can't imagine. Like, even mine are even just in a closet in cases because I'm in an apartment and I already
yeah,
have
yeah,
separation anxiety,
yeah.
and they're
Isn't
just
it
like
the
right over
worst,
there.
dude? Right, right.
And Dave, who we do the audio podcasts, the monthly
Yeah.
podcast with, most of his gear is here in Nashville, and he's over in
Oh,
Cleveland,
really? Yeah, yeah.
and so I get it,
Yeah,
kind of.
absolutely, dude. Yeah.
How did y'all? I think you and I talked about it. How did y'all get
Mhm.
in touch with Our Last Night? Did they reach out to y'all, or was that a Hopeless Records thing? Are they with? I don't
So
know if they were with
so that
Hopeless or
was
not.
State Champs tour,
Mm,
and
that's right.
like, yeah, so it was basically like they courted us, like, hey, we love your band, like, do you want to come out? And I was like, oh shit, this lineup is
Man,
eclectic as hell. Like, absolutely, I want to come out. And like, in a way, like, they were kind of responsible for us putting out another record so soon, because it was like, all right, cool, like, you're down to do this tour, like, but you have to drop a new song sometime before the tour. And we were like, well, f it, we're not just gonna go and do a song if we're like 7 or 8 demos deep into this next record. Like, let's just smash this record out. Like,
yeah,
so like shout out to the Champs boys for kind of inadvertently being like, all right, well, maybe let's just do this record. Like, and it wound up like really working out. And yeah, man, what a tour, dude. It was sick to play like big rooms like that. I've never ever, it was like House of Blues every night. It was
oh
crazy. Like,
man,
I'm used to like sweaty, like 200 cap, like punk shows. So it was like nuts to like, oh wow, I'm getting fed every day. Like, this is fucking sick. Like,
yeah.
it was so tight. Like,
And when's y'all's? When did you tell me earlier your next run is? In like a month or something?
yeah, it starts, I have it right here. Where is it? It starts, so the Mother Nature tour starts May 24th in Columbus, Ohio at Woodlands Tavern.
Oh, okay.
So I'm really stoked, man. I can't wait for everyone to hear this record. It's gonna be sick, and we're dropping a single on Monday with a video and everything, and that's when we'll
Oh, cool.
announce the release date for the record and everything. So
Awesome.
yeah, we got a lot going on right now, man. This is gonna be a big year for me and the boys.
Yeah.
I'm really, really pumped.
Yeah, dude. How old were you when you started playing?
I was in like fifth, sixth grade. I was like, I don't know, 13 maybe.
Yeah.
And it was like a peer pressure thing. Like some homies of mine that I had a couple classes with were like, dog, we're going to do a fucking band. Like, your dad's got drums. Like, you have to do it, right? Like, you can do this. Like, we'll figure it out. Like, and I remember one of these kids, like, he could kind of play. And, like, we set everything up. And, like, he was like, just cross your hands like this. And I was like, wow, this isn't so bad, But I have, like, a vivid memory of, like, being so winded after playing, like, one or two songs.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, cool, like I can go for days, like it's all good. It's just like, it's crazy how your body like develops like that dexterity and what's the word I'm looking for? Stamina.
Yeah.
And you start like figuring out that your like smaller fast twitch muscles will like give you all the power and velocity that you need instead of like, like this stiff like forearm thing, like. But yeah, man, it was I was about 13 and peer pressure and all that stuff when you're like a jaded teenager that's like embarrassed to have your mom drop you off at the mall or at a show or whatever, like but yeah, man, I reckon it's been 21 years now I've been playing. I think it's hard for me to keep track.
Sure. Yeah. Who are some of the bands that you like that kind of shaped your playing? Like, did you teach yourself or did you do lessons?
For years, yeah, I played like 7 or 8 years without any type of formal training, and then I studied at Atlanta Institute of Music for a while, and that really helped me open up into true 4-way limb independence, which really just changed everything for me. But I remember buying a Strung Out record when I was on family vacation in Canada with my parents. And that was the first time, A, that I'd heard a dude that was like, holy shit, I want to play drums just like him.
Yeah.
But B, that was the first time I heard a record that I was like, oh my God, like, I can listen to this record like front to back and every song is good. I didn't know that was even a thing. Like, I just thought like the singles were like it and the rest is just like, oh yeah, like maybe this is cool. So like I really, really got into that band and Jordan Burns is a drummer and like I dissected everything. I learned every lick, like all those songs, and like he was a huge influence on my playing. And the other guy that I'm still really transfixed by is George Rebello from Hot Water Music. Like I was a sophomore in high school when I heard their second album, Fuel for the Hate Game. And that was the first time that I'd heard something where I was like, I've never heard a band like this, where they're like just yelling their guts out, but it's like so like heavy, but it's like punk, but like this dude's doing like jazz licks. And like, that's why I integrate splashes into my setup, because like he's doing these crazy like jazz licks, but it's like punk and it's like crazy. And I remember he had like, he used to play that Maryland custom drums. They're not a thing anymore. Okay. But fun fact, when we did Golden Record, Paul had one of those snares. So the snare that's on Catholic Girls is a 8x14 with some crazy amount of plies. Like I forget how many plies it is, but it was one of those like really thick fuckers. And the only reason I used that snare on that song is because I was like, oh my God, like George Rebello used to play these drums. I have to use this somewhere on the record. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I remember that guy too, George from Hot Water, with his setup. He used to have like he was a Sabian guy, I think, but he had a China at like a 90-degree angle and he would like come at it sideways. Like this dude was doing some weird shit. And like I said, like I'd never heard anybody play like that. I was like, wow, like all the like ghost notes and everything and like the little tasty splashes, but somehow it's like, it's still punk rock. It was this crazy, just, he had such a big influence on my playing. And that was another one of those, like, I have to analyze the fuck out of what this guy's doing. I have to learn all of this, like, so I can twist it and figure out like how I can do these licks in my own way. Like I was just so inspired by him as a player. Like, Can't say enough about him and that band and kind of how they shaped me musically. Like, man, what a band.
Yeah. Who are you listening to now?
Oh man, let's pull up the Spotify and see. So that new Better Off, I love that record. That guy's so sick. I don't know his name or anything, but they're a bunch of Nashville dudes.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been listening to that a lot. That newest American Football. Wow, like at first I was like, oh, there's a lot of filler on this record, and then like it really grew on me. I don't know that guy's name either, but Jesus Christ, he's good. They're like a bunch of Juilliard guys or something, where like their band wasn't hype until after they broke up, and then like 10 years later they're like pumping out records again. So yeah, I've been listening to that album a lot. A bunch of like ridiculous proggy tech metal and genty stuff. That new Periphery is amazing. Chimp Spanner, I've been listening to them a lot. That new Free Throw is sick as fuck. Shout out to the Free Throw boys. Great record. That new Snow Patrol. No, actually, that record's not new at all. That record's from 2004. What am I saying? And
15 years ago.
Yeah, I know, right? And let's see. And so Nick from Grayscale's like huge into like a bunch of the same like hardcore bands that I grew up on. So I started digging back out. So his favorite band was Poison the Well. So I started digging back out that album that they put out on Atlantic, You Come Before You. I've been listening to that again. Really great drum production on that album. Love that shit. And I've been really digging. So Matt showed me this band from Australia called Violent Soho, and he was like, dude, like these guys are like the new Nirvana. And I was like, whoa, that's a bold statement. But then like I listened to it, and like absolutely, like they live up to that. Like they're unbelievable, dude. Like, but there's still kind of like a punk element to it, but it's so yelly and like loud, and like, you know, the pockets like really loose, and they're just like jamming loud as fuck. Like really, really cool band. If you haven't heard them yet, you should definitely listen to them. They're unbelievable, dude. Okay. Sorry, I went off on a tangent.
No, you're good. No, you're good, man. What was I gonna ask, dude? I heard a new band, but I heard a new genre of music I never thought that I'd be interested in. Is Mongolian metal. Have you ever
go on? You've really piqued my interest.
Well, it like if you think about the term metal,
yeah,
it's not at all what you think. It's not at all what you're thinking. It sounds like one of their songs. Like they just came out apparently. Like the band I'm thinking of is called The Who, but it's not The Who. It's like HU, and they one of their songs sounded like the Dropkick Murphys meets like a Samoan tribal band. And I'll look them up. It's The Who spelled HU, and
yeah,
I have no idea what the guy's saying, and they have like English subtitles in the music videos for it.
Oh, that's amazing.
But the sound it's like Mongolian, like throat singing or something, but the music that they're playing is super cool. It's almost like Celtic. It's
that's cool.
Yeah,
that band Intronaut does some of that, like the Gregorian chanty kind of weird like monk stuff, like, but then it's like proggy, like tech death, like that guy's sick too. Danny Walker, like that guy shreds. Like I don't know if you fuck with that band, but I would imagine that stylistically it's somewhat similar to what you're describing, like with how you were talking about the vocals, like.
Yeah. I'll send you a link and get your opinion on it.
All right, hell yeah.
I keep thinking back whenever you and I met over at I forget what that little venue was called. Whenever
that brewery,
yeah. Whenever our friend David was playing his show, and dude, I think you and I talked more than we watched the show, maybe, because like we were just geeking out on gear and stuff.
Drums, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I for me, I think it seems kind of rare